"I am untouchable," said Police Commissioner Sun. A crisp Wednesday morning in Providence. The courthouse stood like a monument to law and order, its marble floors shining under the early sunlight. Inside, the air was tense, charged with whispers and anticipation. Cameras were rolling, reporters were scribbling, and the murmurs among the gallery hinted at one thing: today, something extraordinary was about to unfold. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss the jaw-dropping courtroom stories we bring you every week. Trust me, you'll want to see every second of this one. The arrival. At exactly 9:15 a.m., the courtroom doors opened, and a young man walked in like he owned every inch of the building. He wasn't just confident, he radiated entitlement. His name was Ethan Carmichael, son of the police commissioner of Providence. A man raised in privilege, trained to believe that authority and power were his birthright. Ethan's outfit told its own story: a tailored navy suit that cost more than a month's salary for most people, polished Italian shoes, and a luxury watch that gleamed under the courtroom lights like a spotlight on his arrogance. He carried a leather briefcase, but not for documents, for effect. Every step he took screamed, "I am untouchable." The crime. Ethan wasn't in court for a trivial matter. That morning, at a high-end downtown cafe, he had thrown his drink at a young barista after she politely asked him to wait his turn. A simple disagreement had escalated in a storm of well-fueled rage. Witnesses reported hearing Ethan shout, "Do you know who my father is? I don't answer to people like you." When police arrived, he didn't cower or apologize. He smirked, flashed a badge he wasn't legally allowed to use, and expected immunity because of his dad's position. By now, anyone could see the perfect storm forming: arrogance, wealth, power, and a court waiting to measure it all. The hook. Judge Caprio enters. Judge Frank Caprio took the bench like he always does, calm, poised, and silently commanding respect. His eyes scanned the room with decades of courtroom experience, settling finally on Ethan. "Good morning, Mr. Carmichael," he said. His voice, steady and soft, carried weight. Ethan barely acknowledged the greeting. "Morning," he replied, his tone as dismissive as if the judge were a mere clerk. The courtroom held its breath. Even among the regulars, this was a level of arrogance seldom seen. Judge Caprio continued professionally. "You are charged with assault, public disturbance, and contempt. How do you plead?" Ethan smirked. "Your Honor, I think this is all blown out of proportion. The staff were incompetent, and I was simply asserting my rights as a paying customer." The murmurs grew louder. The judge's patience was about to be tested. Evidence on the screen. Judge Caprio activated the courtroom's video system. Security footage from the cafe flashed on the monitors. Every eye was glued to the screen. Ethan, unaware of how damning the footage would be, continued to project confidence. On screen, he towered over the barista, gesturing wildly, shouting over her calm attempts to explain. Suddenly, the cup of coffee flew through the air, directly hitting the young employee. Her cry echoed in the video, piercing and real. Customers gasped. Staff rushed to her aid. And Ethan? He barely flinched. "This is what happens when people don't know their place," he yelled. "Do you understand the consequences of crossing me?" Courtroom reaction. The courtroom fell silent. Even seasoned lawyers were shocked. Everyone expected someone to intervene, but no one had ever seen Judge Caprio handle someone like Ethan. The judge's eyes narrowed slightly, his tone calm but deadly serious. "Mr. Carmichael, did you assault this young woman?" Ethan's smirk wavered. "No, Your Honor. That cup, it slipped. She overreacted. I was merely expressing frustration." Judge Caprio paused. "According to Officer Reynolds, when police arrived, you displayed your father's badge and said, 'Do you know who my dad is? You'll regret this.' Are you denying this?" Ethan, realizing his words were now evidence, tried to regain control. was simply clarifying my position. It's important that officers understand the context. The courtroom was frozen. Every eye followed Judge Caprio, waiting for his reaction. The flex, arrogance meets reality. Ethan, emboldened, raised his voice. Your Honor, my father is the police commissioner. Do you really want to go against me? I can make this entire situation disappear. It was the fatal mistake. He thought power could shield him. He thought wealth and lineage could bend justice. Judge Caprio's legendary patience reached its limit. He leaned forward slightly, his voice calm but ice-cold. Mr. Carmichael, in this courtroom, your father's position does not dictate justice. The law applies equally to everyone. Are we clear? Ethan's confident smile faltered. He waved his hand, as if dismissing the courtroom's authority. Clear, he muttered, though the smirk remained. The courtroom freeze moment. Then it happened. Ethan, attempting to assert dominance, pulled out his phone mid-proceedings, presumably to record or broadcast. The courtroom gasped. Security tensed. Judge Caprio's eyes didn't leave him. Mr. Carmichael, the judge said slowly, remove that device, or I will confiscate it. Instead, Ethan flaunted it. He raised the phone, showing it to everyone like a trophy. At that precise moment, Judge Caprio did something incredible. He calmly addressed the entire courtroom, silencing everyone with a single phrase. Freeze. The word, simple as it was, carried weight. Every whisper stopped. Cameras stopped moving. Even Ethan's smug confidence faltered. It was as if time itself had paused. The moral breakdown. Judge Caprio continued. You may have wealth. You may have connections. But here, in this courtroom, you are nothing but a defendant. Your actions, not your lineage, determine your fate. Ethan tried to argue. Your Honor, I've been raised to respect authority, but... Do not lecture this court, Caprio interrupted. You assaulted a young woman, attempted to flaunt your father's power, and disrupted public order. That is not respect. That is entitlement. The courtroom watched as the young man's bravado slowly melted into shock and fear. The consequences. Judge Caprio was methodical. Every point of the law was addressed. Every piece of evidence, the video, eyewitness accounts, and police statements, was laid bare. For assault, Judge Caprio pronounced, you are fined $30,000 and face 6 months in county jail. Ethan blinked. Money meant nothing here. For contempt of court due to flaunting your father's position, the judge continued, you are fined an additional $50,000 and face 1 year in jail. The room was silent. Ethan's lawyers whispered frantically. He tried to negotiate, offering compensation and favors. Judge Caprio shook his head. Your money cannot erase your actions, he said. The viral moment. Then, as if the universe wanted to mark the final blow, Ethan attempted one last display of arrogance. He looked straight at the judge, raised his hand, and gave a subtle but deliberate gesture, a half smirk, an arrogant tilt of the head, a signal to the courtroom that he was untouchable. Judge Caprio, unfazed, leaned forward. Mr. Carmichael, that gesture will not be tolerated. You will leave this courtroom understanding that no one is above the law, not even the son of the police commissioner. The courtroom gasped. Ethan's phone slipped from his hand. For the first time, he felt the weight of real consequences. The fallout. Ethan Carmichael left the courtroom in handcuffs, stunned and humiliated. His father, waiting outside, realized that privilege had limits. The video of the courtroom froze online, instantly going viral. Comments flooded social media, power doesn't protect you. Respect does. By evening, the incident had become national news. The lesson was clear, arrogance and entitlement have a price. Judge Caprio had done more than uphold the law. He had demonstrated that justice is blind, but it sees arrogance instantly. Conclusion and moral. Sometimes, power can shield you. Sometimes, wealth can intimidate. But in Judge Caprio's courtroom, no one escapes accountability. Ethan's lesson. Humility isn't optional. Respect isn't negotiable. And a single moment of arrogance can destroy a lifetime of privilege. If you found this story shocking, dramatic, or inspiring, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We bring you the most unbelievable courtroom stories, every week. Stay tuned, because you won't believe what happens next in Providence Municipal Court. Just as Ethan Carmichael was being led out in handcuffs, his phone buzzed insistently. He glanced down, a single message flashed: "We need to talk. Everything is about to change." His eyes widened. What could this mean? Could it be his father, a powerful ally, or someone even more dangerous? The courtroom, still reeling from the verdict, remained frozen. Judge Caprio's gaze lingered, calm but piercing, sensing there was more to this story than met the eye. And as Ethan's smirk faded, a chilling thought crossed everyone's mind: this case isn't over yet, and the next shock is closer than anyone thinks.